So here we are. A little about me. So this is me. This is me literally every day. And you might wonder why I look like that all the time. That's because I co-run a creative agency with my mother. And let me tell you, that takes some courage. Probably not as much courage as it takes for the rest of the team to work with both of us. Certainly not when we're in the same office. So we've been going for 10 years, and somehow we've not killed each other, my mother and I. The team's grown, and we're based out of Cromford, so we're in the Peak District now. We were on Sadlergate for a long time, and quite a few of the faces in here I don't know. A few of the faces I do. James, Carl, Hannah, we've worked before. You'll see some bits and bobs in here, particularly James, that we've done together. So as a creative agency, we work across video, digital, which is a word that I hate, but it encompasses websites, social media, blah, 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 blah. So it's not something that interests me too much, my line of work. Anyway, you'll notice that I've not actually branded up this presentation with our logo, etc., because that's something over the past 10 years that we've never actually agreed on. So there's about 40 different versions of it sat on laptops like this, and one day I will decide on which one I want to go with. I also hate our name, out of interest. You know this, everybody knows this. Carl knows this. Archer Hampson, it's a bringing together of two family names, but nobody can say Hampson on the phone. So, big issue for me. Anyway, we've worked with a lot of brands nationally, internationally now as well. BOWMER and KIRKLAND being one. So they're a £1 billion construction company, and somehow, through daring, I suppose, we managed to convince them to let us rebrand the whole company. What did happen, however, and this is a story I won't get into, is the Red Cross ended up not suing us, but they got really quite annoyed about something that I did because it contravened the Geneva Convention. But that's a completely different, actually did, that's a completely different story. So as time has gone on, we've added people to the team. And that takes, as anybody who's employed somebody, takes a bit of daring to say, right, okay, we think we can sustain a wage. Dan, our animator designer, he's responsible for stuff like this. So this is the kind of thing we'll produce on a nearly daily basis. So he's literally always working. But as we've expanded, we've done more and more stuff. And now we're working with proper international brands like Specialized Bikes. So let me just get to the next bit. Right, on to the actual subject. So daring. Taking a chance on people like Dan and on various different projects like BOWMER and KIRKLAND, some of the stuff we did to try and win work with Specialized Bikes takes a bit of courage. It also takes a little bit of foolishness on my behalf to sort of take a chance and think that it might work out. Most of them don't, but then the odd one does. Yes, I probably think that we're quite a courageous business, really. We kind of just do what we want, and we never really think about competition. If you were to sort of search around the internet for stuff about us, you wouldn't find a lot, because we don't promote ourselves. We just do the work. Carl knows this as well. So here's an example of some of the stuff we've done before, where we've just kind of followed our heart. So DBY, James helped write that with us. That actually came off the back of a very financially unsuccessful venture called In, which I think is how we met, which was a magazine that ran 2017, 2018. We printed, for some reason, 20,000 copies a month in a city of about 200,000 people for free. So yeah, we stuck that through people's doors, and the whole idea behind that was to say that there are culturally interesting things happening in Derby, and we should talk about them, we should talk about the people behind them, etc. And we did that for no real reason.
I used to like getting that through the door.
Did you?
Yes.
Ah, that's good, that's nice to know. But it's not all about us being daring, sort of through my little adventures. I've met various people. Jamie is one of them. He runs Down to Earth Derby. which I sort of a weekend, of an evening, many weekends and evenings, will help him with his photography, his video, some of his writing. And his mission in life is to create an Eden project in Derby, which might sound ridiculous, but the creator of the Eden project heard about what he wanted to do and now is on board with it. So hopefully, and we'll keep pushing away, you might actually find him achieve his dream. And there is an awful lot of courage in that man. The same goes for Lee Timmis. He I met as a result of In. So we were writing random articles and he emailed me, they really were random as well. He emailed me to say, I've just got back from a 7-year round the world trip. I'd like to tell my story in your magazine. I said, sure. So we met in Suds and Soda, another set of risk takers, and we got hammered. And for some reason he said, I would like to embark on a world record breaking attempt to cycle across Europe. I want to be the fastest person to do that. And I said, well, we'll film it then, without really thinking about it, which we did. And that's led him to go and write a book. He did end up breaking the world record for cycling across Europe, fastest man to do it. And now he's about to attempt another record, which I can't say, but it will be good. Right, let me just get back on track again. So with every little success we've had, there are many, many failures, and Lee was involved in one of those, which I've got a little example of, but I don't know if the audio is going to come through on this one. I'll give it a whirl, we'll see. Might be a failure. We shot something for a website and YouTube channel called Road CC. I think they've got about 100,000 YouTube subscribers, something like that. And it would have been a fun, profitable project for both of us and would have led to new work. But essentially, we would have gone around the country filming adventurous cycling things, which is really what I was in it for. So I wanted to show you a little clip, which was very raw, that we put together, and the company, Road CC, that wanted to procure us just said, just put this together, prove it as a proof of concept, and you're away. You can do the project. Never happened.
Have you ever cycled up a really, really steep hill and thought, hey, that climb nearly gave me a heart attack. I wonder if there are any similar hills to this that I could nearly die on. Perhaps not, but there really are some people out there like that. There are even some people out there who think it would be a good idea to cycle up all of the UK's top 100 hardest cycle climbs in a single weekend. In fact, we found one of those people, and he was so insistent that he could cycle up all of these mad hills that he encouraged us to follow him up 2 of the UK's steepest climbs on one of his typical lazy Sundays.
These are real graphics that Dan's done. Can you see the text?
I'm Lee Timmis. I've got the world record for the fastest cycle across Europe, and I've cycled around the world. So the 4 climbs that I'm going to be doing are Ryber, Bank Road, Rowsley Bar, and Beeley, even though Beeley's not technically on the list of 100. Isn't Beeley on the list?
We shoot lots and lots of stuff like this. There are loads of things that are kind of on the cutting room floor, but this took an entire weekend. It's much longer than this clip. To go and shoot, loads of petrol money spent. Lee's gone out and cycled up loads of different climbs, etc. We're all very excited, sat in the pub, thinking, we're gonna break into this world. Didn't happen, but the next time we take that risk, maybe it will. And I think when I think about daring, when I think about courage, it's just about relentlessly trying to follow these things and just see where they go. So what's next for us? We moved to Cromford Mills, so this office is us, right as the pandemic hit. Carl might remember because he brought his dog up. So we were very prepared to fill this office full of people, crack on, lovely creative atmosphere in there, and then everyone went home. So we took a risk with that office, and it's kind of strange, I was saying this to Hannah, how it's ended up, because Cromford, for people who know it, is way out of the way and incredibly annoying to get to. So when we said to people, you need to go there 5 days a week, as opposed to easily getting into Saddlebridge Studios, they weren't that happy about it. So luckily, a pandemic came along, forcing everyone to go home, and then make this space seem much more appealing to go to for 2 days a week. So I feel like that risk kind of fortuitously paid off. So now, as many people are, with all of our colleagues, we've agreed to have kind of a hybrid approach, and it kind of acts like a bit of an Airbnb that costs too much money for us to run in perpetuity, but we'll give it a go. So for whatever reason, that risk appears to be paying off. And in strange ways, people turn up, it's a very calming place. Clients turn up having gone through a really arduous journey, probably behind a lorry or a tractor, completely out of their way. And then they've got a dog called Brian, who will jump up and sort of get on their lap and just get in their face, all that kind of stuff, the typical creative agency dog. But it works. People enjoy their time there and they don't really want to leave. And I'd like to think just having the courage to stick with that rather than binning it off straight away will pay off, or it might not. I don't know. The next thing on the horizon is another thing that I randomly followed. This is a man called John Tams, and he's actually Britain's most decorated folk musician, and he's a patron of this very institution. So at the moment, he's recording his last album, just somewhere outside of BOWMER, and he's agreed for me to make a documentary about it. So when I can, in the week and at the weekends, myself and a cinematographer, we're going out there and documenting it. And the hope is, The Guardian are interested, that we can get this thing actually screened in cinemas once it's finished, and hopefully kind of weave away from the marketing stuff that I kind of detest slightly and into a world of film. And it's another risk. So it's entirely possible that this might be crap. Could be crap. I don't know. His album could be crap. It's probably not going to be crap, but it could be. We could film it terribly. I don't know. But I think without taking a risk, you will never know. And to be honest, I wish cities like Derby in particular took more. One thing you'll see parroted around on LinkedIn is When the World Zigzag, which is an old BBH advertising campaign, which had one black sheep and a field of white sheep facing the other way. And you'll see endless LinkedIn posts about creativity and being different, etc. Those don't interest me. What I would say is, in the future, when I think about daring, I don't have a clue what it means, and I'm entirely comfortable with that. I'll always be comfortable with that. And I think that summarizes my approach to dare. That's it.